My parents are in their 70s. They flew internationally. Long flight. Hours in the air. They landed tired, carrying bags. Ready to sleep in the house our family has owned for 3 generations. My brother-in-law opened the door and told them they could have the pull-out couch in the home office. Because he had friends over. Friends. My parents didn't argue. They're not confrontational people and they didn't want to make things awkward for me. So they went to a hotel. Spent the night in a room they paid for. In a city where we own a house. That house? My brother-in-law has been living in it for 2 years. Rent-free. My husband called him when he found out. Short conversation. Very short. I'm still typing this with my jaw tight. My name is Claire. And I'm going to tell you the whole thing. The property is in a Tier 1 city in Asia. It's been in my family for 3 generations. My grandparents had it, my parents had it, and a few years ago when my parents were thinking about selling, I bought them out. Below market price, yes. My parents were happy. They got a fair deal, kept a place to come back to when they visit, and I got a property that meant something. It's usually rented. Most of the year it generates income, covers itself, runs clean. 2 years ago my brother-in-law, I'll call him Daniel, hit a rough patch. Job trouble, money tight, the whole situation looked precarious. My husband and I talked about it and decided to let Daniel and his wife stay at the property rent-free while they got back on their feet. No rent. Nothing. Just here use it, get stable. The conditions were simple. When my family visits they get the primary bedroom. That's it. 1 bedroom. For the people who own the house. Not a complex ask. The first time we came back they made it weird. Hemming and hawing about the inconvenience, dragging their feet until my husband looked at Daniel and said calmly, "We're doing you a favor." They moved. We stayed. It was fine. The second visit, same routine. Less pushback that time. We assumed they'd figured out the dynamic. We assumed wrong. This year we weren't going back ourselves. But my parents were, both in their 70s, still sharp, still active, still making the trip because that city is home to them in the way places become home after decades of your life happening there. I gave Daniel and his wife 6 months' notice. 6 months. I sent the dates clearly, asked if there were any issues, got back a response that amounted to no problem. No problem. My parents flew in on a Friday. Long international flight, the kind that takes a full day out of you no matter how many times you've done it. They landed tired, hungry, ready to be in a familiar place. Daniel opened the door and told them his friends were visiting. The only available space, he said, was the home office. Pull-out couch. My parents are in their 70s. They just got off a long-haul flight. And Daniel, who has been living in my house for free for 2 years, told them the pull-out couch was what was available. They didn't fight him. They didn't want to cause a scene. And this is the part that gets me most. They didn't want to create problems between me and my in-laws. So they quietly picked up their bags, found a hotel, paid for a room and went to bed. I found out by phone. My mom called the next morning, gentle about it, almost apologetic, like she was the one who'd done something wrong. She explained what happened in that measured way she has. Just the facts. No editorializing. I sat with it for about 30 seconds. Then I called my husband. My exact words were, "You need to handle this. Because you would not like the way I handle it." He knew. He's been married to me for 14 years. He knew exactly what that sentence meant. He called Daniel. I don't know the full content of that conversation. I heard my husband's half of it from the other room and it was brief. Not loud. Just very, very clear. He told Daniel he was done. Move out. Immediately. That was it. What followed was a mess, but honestly it felt distant, like noise coming from another room. Daniel and his wife sent texts. Voice notes. A lot of them. Called me names I won't bother repeating here because they tell you more about the sender than me. My in-laws, Daniel's parents, called. Begged. Used the word grace a lot. Said family should show grace. Said we were blowing things out of proportion. Said Daniel had made a mistake and he knew it. I haven't responded to any of it. Not because I'm being strategic. Not because I'm building a case. But because I genuinely don't have anything to say to these people right now that would be useful. My husband is handling the logistics. The timeline, the actual move out, whatever paperwork is needed. That's his family's mess and he agreed he's the one who should clean it up. I've just stepped back. I keep coming back to the logic of what Daniel did. He knew the rules. He'd lived by them twice before. He got 6 months warning. He confirmed it was fine. And then he let his friends stay in my house and handed my elderly parents a pull-out couch. The audacity of it isn't what gets me. Plenty of people do audacious things. What gets me is the calculation. He made a choice. He chose his friends over my parents in my house, after 2 years of free rent. He waited out and decided his convenience was worth more than their comfort. And then he was surprised when there were consequences. My in-laws keep framing this as me overreacting. It was just one night. He didn't mean any harm. You're going to cause a rift over this? No, I'm not causing a rift. Daniel caused a rift when he made a 70-something-year-old woman drag her luggage back out to the street because he had company. I just stopped pretending there wasn't one. The property will go back on the rental market. That was always the plan. Daniel and his wife were always supposed to be temporary. 2 years is a long time to be temporary, but that's where we are. My parents ended up staying an extra few days after switching to the hotel. They moved to a nicer place once everything settled and made the best of it. They're fine. They're not people who stay wounded by things like this. They're too used to managing life gracefully to let one bad night ruin a trip. But I'm not my parents. I don't do graceful when someone disrespects the people I love. I told my husband early in our marriage that his family would always be welcome as long as they treated mine well. That was the deal. Not formal, not written down anywhere. Just understood between us. Daniel tested whether I meant it. Now he knows. A lot of people have asked what happened to my in-laws' relationship with us specifically, not just Daniel. Honestly, it's strained right now. My in-laws aren't bad people. They're scared for their son and embarrassed by what he did. And those two things together make people say things they don't mean. I'm giving it time. Someone asked if my husband has any regrets about how he handled it. He told me last night that the only thing he regrets is not making the consequences clearer the first time they pushed back about the bedroom. He thinks we let things slide in ways that gave Daniel the wrong impression about what was acceptable. He's not wrong. And someone asked what my mom said when she heard Daniel was out. She called me. Said she was sorry it came to this. Said she hoped it didn't cause me too much trouble. That's my mom. Worrying about me while I'm trying to protect her. I told her she had nothing to be sorry about. She said she knew. We stayed on the phone for a while after that, not really talking, just together. Sometimes that's the whole point.